Greetings, my name is Bien-Aime, and allow me to take a moment to share with you what I found to be a global issue, income inequality. So what makes income inequality a global issue? Well, let's first start with the definition. As I always state, whatever can't be defined can never be determined. An issue is defined as a global problem when it affects a significant proportion of the world's population and requires coordinated effort on an international scale to address it. Global problems require a deep, comprehensive understanding of a complex issue with nuanced cause and effects and a delicate, coordinated, collaborative approach for a solution. Global problems always transcend borders and affects people and communities in multiple regions and countries. Income inequality is a global issue and it's getting worse. According to Oxfam International, the world's richest 1% have more than twice as much wealth as 6.9 billion people. This means that the top 1% controls 44% of the world's wealth, while the bottom 50% of the global population own less than 2% of the world's wealth. During my scholarly review of this global issue, I uncovered quite a bit of support through various resources addressing different facets of this complex issue. One in particular review, which the British Medical Journal article, which looked to examine the global impact of income inequality on health outcomes, specifically exploring whether the relationship observed in wealthier nations is replicated worldwide and whether it varies across different age groups. 126 countries were observed, encompassing 94.4% of the world's population. The findings indicate that variations in income inequality show a stronger correlation with mortality than variations in material wealth, specifically in younger ages, 15 to 29 and 25 to 39. Another article written, and it was entitled Statistics, Politics, and Policy. In addition to its impacts on health and education, income inequality intersects with another crucial variable, politics. Politics play a crucial role in shaping policies, resource allocation, and social structures. The distribution of political power, ideologies, and governance structures within societies can influence the level of investment in healthcare, education, and the accessibility of these services, and the implementation of policies aimed at reducing inequality. The research draws parallels between income inequality and political inequality, addressing the challenges it poses to democratic societies. The findings suggest a lack of policy choice by political parties, leading to unequal policy responsiveness to the preference of lower income individuals. This research underscores the importance of understanding and addressing the connection between income inequality, political inequality, and the democratic process for the effective functioning of democracy. So, the proposed solutions include progressive taxation to ensure fair distribution of resources, the significant or robust social safety nets to provide support for vulnerable populations, and the need to empower workers and promote fair labor practices. It also highlights transformative potential of investing in education, skill development to reduce income disparities and enhance economic mobility. It also underscores the importance of international cooperation, thus bridging the gap between developed and developing countries alike. By implementing these solutions, societies can strive towards a more inclusive, fairer world that upholds the dignity and well-being for all people. To summarize, we were able to illustrate through the literary review on the topic of income inequality as it pertains to education, health, wealth, and the politics was clear. It was clear the positive correlation between income inequality and all these factors. In a review of sentiment of those categories, research is consistent with the need to address with comprehensive review and immediate attention. This review adopted multidisciplinary approach looking at theory, politics, statistics as well. The framework gave credence to looking at the issue holistically when examining effects of income inequality globally. Inequality remains a pressing issue with far-reaching implications. The evidence presented in this essay highlighted the detrimental effects of the issue. It underscores the adverse effect of health outcomes and increased social and mental health challenges. By recognizing the multifaceted nature of income inequality and its interconnectedness with education, health, and politics as well, we can move to a greater equality and work towards creating a more inclusive and just system that benefits all, regardless of their social and economic status. Wealth distribution mechanisms such as safety nets, targeted welfare policies and income support programs, and can further address the disparities to provide safety net for the most vulnerable population. This would include ensuring access to quality education by way of making sure funds are equitably distributed to countries and schools that need it most. Access to healthcare, because health is indeed wealth, and the biggest threat to building wealth is health emergency that drains your resources. There needs to be access to housing and social services for all individuals, regardless of their status. The global issue can also be addressed and solved by enhancing labor rights and fair wages. Promoting fair wages, improving working conditions would be essential. Another solution to the global problem is an investment in education and skill development. Addressing income inequality requires investing in quality education and skill development programs. In many countries, having access to education is only a luxury of some, and when you have a small segment of the population receiving innovative education, then you stifle the intellectual process you might be able to garner from population who doesn't have access to this resource. Many of the resources and research argue that investing in education can contribute to reducing income disparities and promoting social mobility. Finally, one widespread and most important and immediate impact would be international cooperation and fair trade practices. Addressing the issue requires international cooperation and fair trade practices. Wealthier nations should support initiatives that promote economic development, reduce poverty, and bridge the income gap between developed and developing countries. In the future, as long as these countries can work together, we can resolve the issue of income inequality, improve the health and mental state of every citizen, regardless of their social economic status, as well as bridging the wealth gap. Thank you for your time.